189, 144, 233, 377. And then what is it? 610 and 987? Something like that. Hey, good morning, everybody. Let's do some Forex. I like the way you trade. So today is a Tuesday, not a super Tuesday, I'm sorry, just a regular old boring Tuesday. We are in a holiday week, so it's not a good time to lose money, right? So time to go through the chart, see where we are. Seems like the earthquake in Japan wasn't too bad. I've been sleeping the last few hours, so I don't know, but it seems like the tsunami was only 2 or 3 feet tall. But hey, at the time when it came out, you need to be at your desk. I was there. Caught a couple of trades, but nothing big, nothing major, but it was there. Yeah, and then I'm like 12 minutes into the trading, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I better ping Ryan. So anyways, always here for you guys. So without further ado, let's get going. Let me remind you that trading Forex is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please always stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Thanks for being here at Forex.Today. So g'day, mate. Shall I throw a pip on the bobby for you? Ripper. So hello, my name is Wayne. I am the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. I do these sessions because I want to make you a better trader. If you're a better trader, you won't blow up your trading account, and your trading account will grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Your volume size and lot size will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it'll be a successful partnership. You pull the trigger, we execute your trades quickly and without any drama, mama. That's how it should be, right? Well, that's how it is at TradersWay.com. So thank you for being a client. I appreciate it. Do these sessions 7:30 in the morning, New York time, approximately London lunch. It's a good time to get together as a community and realign the satellites, sort of like halftime report. So what you been trading? Where did my desktop go? I lost my desktop. What? It's weird. It says it's showing it, but I can't see it. Where's my desktop tab? Hang on, Bubba. Mama, it's so cold. Share your screen. I am sharing my screen. How funny. Share. My tab won't flip. I'm missing a tab. Hang on. I guess I have to stop sharing and then reshare. Let's try that. Share your screen. Huh. How weird. Well, what if I close tabs? All right, I closed all my tabs. Now I have no tabs. You see nothing, right? There, I've lost my tab for sharing my screen. It's just not there anymore. It was there. What do I do in this case? Help me, mommy. It won't load. I guess I don't know. Let me refresh. Are you sure you want to close the desktop sharing application? Yeah, let's do that. There's probably putting up a window on one of my screens that I don't see. Um, All right, well, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We've had strangest problems with this software recently, huh? I bet you it's not even their fault. It's got to be Adobe's fault. If it's not Adobe's, it's Microsoft, and if it's not, it's their. There you go. How's that? Okay, good. All right, so we're back. That wasn't too much. That wasn't too crazy. Thank you for sticking with me. So let's do a quick poll. What currency pairs would you like me to cover today? I feel flexible. Pig dog, what a shocker. Kitty cat, I. Pound Aussie, Marina's on that, huh? Yeah. Long-term sell, sure. USD, what is that? Peso? Okay, well, we'll do peso. Marina. There's no pound in peso, Marina. Okay. Andrew wants a euro, pound. Okay, fine. Euro, dollar. All right. Yeah. You're just learning to trade the USD. Yeah, well, I don't. How about that? Let me just throw that out there. I don't trade Mexican peso in the middle of the month. It's just that's that. I don't. So if you're trying to do it against dollar, just like any other currency, I don't do it then. I like to trade when I have an unfair advantage. And so Mexican peso, I trade when I know that $2.3 billion trades are going to go in right behind me. Yeah, right. So other than that, I don't even look at it. So here is the USD Mexican peso, and you can see nothing's happened, right? I mean, I guess if you're trading this range, but on a 4 hour, you could say it's not doing much of anything at all. And probably, it's an overreaction appears. So next week, I would expect this to break back down. If I were to guess, I mean, there's no analysis to show this, because if you're moving sideways, there's nothing that'll tell you if it breaks up or down. But I wouldn't be shocked if we started December like this. Okay? But so the only trade I use there, okay, and this Trump thing, and it's funny. I had my buddy came over the other day, and he's like, he wants to show that he's, paying attention to what I'm doing, right? And he's like, oh, how about the Mexican peso? And I'm like, oh no, no, right? No. And now everyone's on the peso trade. It was so funny. Just 6 months ago or a year ago, no one in their right mind would trade Mexican peso out of retail traders. No, professional traders do it all the time. But it's just so funny now. It's so mediatized that everyone's in on the Mexican peso. But there is an old saying, um, and I actually it's funny because I haven't told you the saying, but it is such a saying. And then I remember somebody telling me, right? I remember a particular moment in my life, just like a millisecond, probably not much of the rest of the day, but that millisecond, I remember thinking to myself, that means it's the end. And then sure enough, it was. So let me tell you the saying. The saying is if the shoe shine boy gives you stock tips, the market's going to collapse. It's time to get out of the market. Right? So and this is a true story. This was in the 90s or early 00s. I can't remember particularly. Probably 98 or something like that. I'm in New York City. I'm doing a press tour, and I'm meeting with a bunch of reporters and newspapers and magazines. And this was actually sitting down with an editor slash producer from CNN. I was pretty excited about it. That's why I remember it, right? And so I get to the place early because, I don't know New York City that well. And so I don't want to be late. It's CNN, for crying out loud. I'm like, I don't know how old I am, 25, 26 or something, right? It's a big deal. And so I get there a bit early. And of course, I'm 40 minutes early. And I'm like, well, what do I do now? Can't go in eager beaver, like, hey, I'm here 40 minutes early, right? So I'm like, well, I'll go into the lobby and get a coffee or something, right? And I go out there. And sure enough, there's a shoe shine place. I get there, getting my shoes shined, and sure enough, the guy gives me a stock tip, and I remember thinking, yeah, the stock market's going to collapse. So this must have been like 1999 or something, and sure enough, it was the end of the world. It was goodbye.com, boo, yeah, end of the world. It must have been a year or two later before it was all just dead. But it was so funny because I remember as a kid thinking, I know this. I know this. This is great. I'm getting my shoe shined in New York City. Because that's just a big thing when you're young, right? And I'm going to go meet CNN and I'm getting my shoe shined. Oh my God, right? Everything is so good, right? Everything's new. And I know what's going on here. The shoe shine boy's giving me a stock tip. I know this means something. Think, right? I'm like Winnie the Pooh. Think, how do I get the honey from the honey pot, right? Think. And all of a sudden I'm like, that means the stock market's going to blow up. A year later, trillions of dollars are gone and everybody's, out on the street. Yeah, it was, big day, right? So anyways, my friend's hanging out smoking cigars. And he's like, how about that Mexican peso? I'm like, that's it. Get out. It's over. It's over. It's over. So anyways, I can't help but laugh with so much Mexican peso coverage now. I'm telling you, no one ever talked about it. Just me and maybe Rob Booker. That was it, right? No one ever even heard of it. So boom, boom, boom. So Mexican peso. So maybe it breaks down. Fine. That would be dollar weakness. That would be maybe uh, anti-Trump type stuff. I don't know. Like usually, if the economy is doing well and we're going to push some manufacturing across the border, this is good, and this is also good for Canada. Canada would have the same effect, right? So you can almost think of peso like the Canadian dollar. What if this was USD CAD, right? Right? When oil goes up, Canadian goes up, but Mexican peso probably would too. They export a lot of oil. If manufacturing jobs went to Canada, the manufacturing jobs would also go to Mexico, right? All that kind of stuff, right? Oh, Ed's doing peso too? Ed, yeah. All right, cool. So anyways, so there's a lot going on in here, but to me, it's always been one thing and only one thing. And I've been doing this for years, like 4, 5, 6 years. I don't know. Money crosses the border at a particular time and at a particular rate. And at one point, it was like $4 billion or something. Then it dropped all the way down to like $1.5 billion. So right now, according to the most recent statistics, it's about 2.4 billion. And so I like to front run the $2.4 billion trade, and that's all it is to me. You can right. You can take it a little farther than that. You can trade it like any other currency, but I tend not to. Okay. All right. So cool. I mean, you could probably overlap ZAR on here too, right? But the Trump effect is distorting this, right? So maybe your money is made on the revert to the mean. You know what I mean? Yeah. Could be a rabbit, could be. All right, so let's do some gold. You like gold? I thought, as you can see here, I thought we would have another move up. Now, I'm not bullish on gold, but I thought we would have, a break up before the breakdown. But nothing really happening. We're just sitting on 12. Okay, right? That's all. And of course, the closer we get to 1,000, the less likely it's going to fall. So it's just a pretty simple process. If you're a bear, which I am, you just pick your lines and sell. That's all. Is there a particular reason why it should fall? There's no reason to buy it. And that's all there is to it for me. Right? If there's no reason to buy it, then there's no floor. There is a floor, and we know it's 1,000 psychologically, right? But it looks to me like a holiday week. Like if this doesn't break down, right? If this doesn't break down, it's just simply because people don't want to trade this week. The Americans. Right? If we get a lower low, lower than that low, you'd sell the lower high off of the resistance, that kind of stuff. But I'm not saying it will happen, but that's how you trade it. And then if you're looking at just this move, sort of if you're doing a swing trade, if you will, then that's a pretty normal role reversal. It's Tuesday, so you sell off of the M3. Your target would actually be M1. Without the volume and volatility of the U.S., we probably wouldn't make M1. Look at the hardcore support. 1184, hardcore, right? Hardcore. Okay. Okay. I still thought we'd get a 382. Well, and in fact, I worry when we don't, because I think if I'm a bear, these breathers are actually opportunities to actually gather steam. So, sometimes I think of this from my couple of years that I worked at NASA. I think about how you use gravitational forces to speed up or slow down objects in space, or even change their trajectory. And so I think, well, let's say everyone wants this to fall. Why is it good for it to rise? Well, it's sort of like, let's say you're trying to get to Mars. One thing that you could do is just put, a rocket into space and then, fire it, fire the boosters and shoot it towards Mars. Well, first of all, Mars is moving, so you better be good at math because Mars is moving. And it's a long ways off. You're off of 1 degree. You could miss Mars by 1,000,000 miles, right? You better be good at your math. But that also takes a lot of energy. So one of the things you can do is go to the moon first and use the gravitational of the moon, right, to slingshot you out there. So now you have to hit the moon, which is a moving target. And while you're moving around that moving target, which is moving around the Earth, you can build up this speed and then throw yourself in front of where Mars is going to be 3 months from now. Okay? So you use that energy, and I always think of it that way. I don't know, I guess, you bring your own baggage to the table, right? But I always think of it that way is, yeah, we all want to go here, but to do it, we need to pick up some energy and slingshot off the 382, right? The gravitational forces of let some bears take their profit from the previous move down, come back to the 382, and then pick up all those bears again that will have more conviction to hit the next target, right? So, right? Yeah, slingshot effect. Okay. This is how I think about it. Right? So you want to go to Mars, you got to aim for the moon first. And the cool thing about that is you only need enough fuel to get to the moon. You see the whole point? versus enough fuel to get to Mars. The moon is a lot closer than Mars, my friend. And that's why you should study math. So you can do that. All right. So that's your gold. Okay. Kitty cat. Kitty cat, bitty bad, bitty 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 bad. All right. So that's your first play. I always think that these types of moves are too easy, right? I always tell myself, that's too easy. So right. So in that case, you want to kick it off here, but before it does it, it's going to want to come up, come a little higher first, maybe there, but even, you know, you know what I mean? Okay. So that's what I'm thinking. So some dollar strength and then down or not. Really, it really depends if you're playing it or how you're playing it. How about this? Like, is this what you're doing now? Okay. Then that means maybe commodities keep moving. Or if it comes up, what it'll most likely do is come up and then stop in the middle, right? Okay. Hungarian central bank leaves interest rates unchanged. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah, man. So, anyways, Hungary just left central banks their central bank rate unchanged. They don't like nice round numbers, so their interest rate is 0.90, not 1%, because that would just be lame. So, anyways, you could play it like this, but is there another way of playing this? Okay, most likely this heads up and then just consolidates between the gray, and then we reboot next week, right? So if you're a dollar bull, you're going to look at something like this, right? If you're a USD bull, I mean, how could you not buy it off the bottom of this green zone, right? And that puts us to the top of the, right? The top up here, kind of rangy. Yep. I guess my point is that doesn't look like a trend unless it bounces off the bottom here and then breaks out. But I don't feel like that's in play, do you? But we could do an S1 R1 week, and it feels in that case it would feel like a breakout. But it's also a double top. So even then, it's not a free and clear plan, right? Yeah, Travis. Yeah, that could be right. That could be, but so the point is, well, there's a few points here. Okay, look at this analysis. Look at this 1, 2, 3 versus the drop and pop. Either way, it worked. The point is, you analyze this and say, is it trending? And it doesn't look like a great trend to me. It looks range bound. So yeah, I mean, this is a minor support. This is a major support. News could help either way, really. If you're a bull on the U.S. dollar or bearish on the Canadian dollar, one way or the other. Okay. that you're like, yeah, maybe, maybe news isn't a launching pad, but maybe it's a trampoline, right? And maybe we hit up here. And if that doesn't work, if you're a bull, then you just buy it here. Okay. Now, a bear, you could count this here. Let's call it 134.50. 134.50, but that's quite I mean, that's 50 pips above us, right? That would be a sell zone there if you're a bear. You'd look at it this way, using that as resistance. And then your plan B is a little higher at 35, right? So it's not really a good place to sell where we are, and it's not really a good place to buy where we are. Because I don't, I would buy a dip to the psych level, A, if I'm aggressive, or B, if sort of the timing was right. Maybe the timing is right. Okay, being long at a pullback to a psych level 134. I'm okay with that. See the psych level 134 here. Okay, that's where we are. I'm okay with that, but I don't prefer it after a lower low. Right? You get it? Especially a lower low after a lower high. So like, yeah, all right. That's what. So doesn't feel like an opportunity to make free money, right? All right. Pound Swissy. You know what? No. Insert indicators. Indicator. See if I can fix this thing. I keep looking at it. It's funny. It doesn't bother me when I'm on my own. I don't even see it. Watermark. There it is. Huh. You saw me add the watermark, didn't you, just now? Let's try it again. I can't do it, right? Insert indicators, custom. Where did I see it? Watermark. Watermark for MT4. Well, no wonder it doesn't work. It's not working. Automatic trend lines. It's not there, eh? Whale oil B. Not under objects either. I think we checked that. What a conundrum. All right. Well, let's move on.com. Thank goodness about the Hungarian Central Bank, though. Huh? Man. But I told you guys, though, if you ended up working at a bank as a foreign exchange trader, your first job would probably be doing Eastern European currencies or Latin American currencies. So, one of my advices maybe a year ago was you should learn everything you can about like the Czech Republic and Hungary and Poland, and know the players at the central banks, know their interest rate levels, get familiar with trading their currencies, even against each other, right? Poland versus Hungary, and have it on your resume to say, yeah, actually, I've been following the Hungarian central bank for years. You're like, don't even get me started, right? Oy vey. Right? Hungry. Oh, don't even get me started. Jeez whiz. Right? So you walk in with like serious experience, and they're like, "Oh my God!" Usually we put one of the new guys on this, and they don't know, they don't even know where Poland is, right? Hungary, Americans laugh at it. That's a funny name, Hungary, right? It's like Turkey. That's a funny name, Turkey. Don't even get me started with Niger. So anyways, yeah, you can just roll in and like, yeah, actually, I'm way up to speed on these places, right? Right. So there's a piece of advice if you actually want to work at a bank, walk in there and say, yeah, you hire me now, I'm experienced. I'll take you places your schlotty's never been. So anyways, we got room to the upside here on pound Swissy. I can delete it now. Couldn't find a way to delete it. See, I can't even delete it. Let me try again. It's an object. Wouldn't it be an object? Description, Fibbo, trend up, label. There's no text, huh? It's not even on the chart. It's a ghost. MT4 does this sometimes. There it is. There you go. All right. So if you want to take to the next level, to the upside on the beast versus the Swiss franc, you're getting into the zone soon, right? Doesn't mean right this second, but you're in there to start your trade planning if you want to be a bull. Well, maybe double bottom, maybe 1, 2, 3. Are there pivots in here? Are there psych levels? Lots of things you can start asking, right? You see it? So I could say, all right, well, we might be in a buy zone. I don't have it on this platform. What? Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, so you could do things like this. So now you move over to pound Swissy, and let's change the template to day trading, for example. Okay, daily central pivot point, 382 Fibonacci retracement from yesterday's trading range. Do you think that's a coincidence why we bounced right here? Midpoint psych level, daily central pivot, 382, right? So now you can sit here and wait. That's definitely a shot in the dark. Shot through the dark. And then, of course, look at the bears. I mean, even the bears are predictable on this, right? I mean, there's just nothing to this. So a bull is buying bullishly. And where's the next level? The 618 is 125.000. That's probably within reason too, right? So you got plan A, buy it at 40, right? Or 45, buy it at midpoint, I guess. Buy it at midpoint or buy it at full. There's your plan for the day, right? What do you think? Actually, I haven't been working on that project, but maybe I'll find some time to work on that project today. But I'll get them to you. So you don't really need it. I mean, right? You don't. It doesn't take a rocket surgeon to figure out that we're at a midpoint psych level. Maybe you don't know it's a daily pivot. Maybe you don't know it's a 382. Okay. By 382, I mean this, right? You take yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Okay. We're right on the 3A2 for launch time. Yeah, did I stop using MACD? I mean, sort of. I mean, I don't know. It just took up room on my charts, but I can see MACD without without actually plotting it. I can see it, so it just wasn't relevant new information for me. All right. So, for example, the MACD is falling, and it's just kind of right. So that's below waterline, and it's just starting to head down again. It was heading up to the water line, and then it failed to break the water line, and now it's just thinking about crossing down. You see what I mean? So, I mean, I can just see it with my mind. But if you want, I can do it. Okay. Insert indicators, custom Osama. I think this is the one that works best. Okay. 21, 55, 8. So it got pretty close to the water line, not quite, so it's still below the water line, and it's just crossing down and trying to fall back away from the water line, right? That's funny, it's the wrong, I thought that was the right. Are there no colors, or it is the wrong one? No, it is the wrong one, it's histogram. All right. Insert indicators, insert indicators, custom. Is that the one I picked, or just Osama? All right. All right, that'll work better, I suppose. 21, 55, 8. There it is. I know it's hard to see. So below the water line, heading back toward the water line, not quite getting there, and just starting to cross down. Oh my God. Oh my God. See? So I calculate MACD with my mind. Okay, so it adds no new information for me. I just look at it and I can see it. Cool, huh? Genius, genius, genius. Okay. And actually, I could get rid of stochastics, to be frank. But anyways. So like stochastics, what it's looking at is price's ability to make higher highs or lower lows relative to the candles just previous to it, right? Right? So lower low, this low is lower than that low, cross down. Right? Next low is lower than the previous one, stay down. This candle not lower than the previous one. Uh-oh. This one now higher. Uh-oh, cross up. This one higher, 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 this one not higher. Uh-oh, this one not higher. Uh-oh, this one not higher. Cross. This one not higher. This one not higher. This one not higher. This one lower. Oh, back down into the trade zone. Down, 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 down. So you can just see right here it's crossing down. I mean, you don't need stupid algorithm to plot this for you, right? Get rid of it. You should just look at it and do the calculations, right? You can see it's never getting overbought. You just see it, right? Right? Uh-oh, 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 right? So what about divergence? The thing about divergence is, you know, when you sit here and trade long enough, you can anticipate the divergence happening before it happens. Where does divergence typically happen? Okay, so imagine it's trending. Let's just let's use this. Okay, let's say we're trending down. Down, 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 down. Okay? And what if we're not sure? Like, let's say it's the end of the London Open. Let's say instead of the midpoint of the London market, let's say we're getting to the end of the close of London trading, when typically new money doesn't come in. Okay, so you have this big move down. Everyone's selling, great. There's a big hesitation at support. Of course, that's why it's there. Lots of profit taking. Okay, but now the second move here is happening just before the London close. Are you going to get the same volume as over here? No. Okay, and do you think you'll have the same conviction of like, oh, there's no doubt we're just going to blow through the support and head down? Well, of course not, because you only have maybe half as many bears as you had on the first move. Okay, the move is in the same direction, but you have half the volume, let's say. So you have less conviction, right? And that will create the divergence. And you should be able to anticipate it here, like boom, right? It's moving sideways for 2 or 3 hours all the way through New York. Like, all right, yeah, we'll probably have one more move down, but you know, we're not going to have the enough volume to break the support. So you're already anticipating, or should be, it's called trade planning. You should already be anticipating a bounce here, right? But I'll tell you what, the oscillator, if I were to have an oscillator below here, the oscillator would probably look like this. Okay? And to me, that tells me, when I see divergence, it tells me the conviction of the participants in the market. And you usually get divergence after a strong trending move and when you hit support and resistance, right? So you imagine if you're trending up and up and up and up and up and up and you hit hardcore resistance. You know it's going to come down because it's resistance. That's where you're supposed to take profit, right? But not everybody's smart. There are lots of dumb, slow people in the world, and you have to be kind to them. So only the smart people get out, and you have a retracement, but then the dummies stay in, and it goes all the way back up. But you don't have the same smart people in, right? They've already taken the afternoon off. They're already golfing and smoking cigars and stuff like that, right? But all the dum-dums, they're still in it. They don't know. They think, oh, well, maybe it'll go higher. They're hoping, right? So it goes back up to resistance. Of course, it doesn't break the double top because we're at resistance, but the volume is lower. So the oscillator is not making new highs, even though price is trying to, and it's starting to roll over. And sure enough, the moderately intelligent people, they are now taking profit because they're like, oh my God, look at this double top, right? Oh my God, look at this double top. The market's closing soon. We're not getting new volume, so they'll take profit. And then it really starts to come down, right? And then now you face reversal patterns, right? So that it's sort of that process, right? And that's what actually creates the divergence, the lack of conviction, because half the market's already taken profit and gone home for the day. And also, you know, it's like in the stock market where, you know, the smart money buys low when there's blood in the street, right? And the stock market goes up. And then, you know, the rumor starts heading out, right? And the stock goes up a little bit more. And then the TV guys start talking about the stock, and the stock starts going up again, right? And then the mutual fund guys start buying it, and the stock really starts going up. And by the time your rich dentist neighbor drops 10 grand on the stock because it's on a 52-week high, and he's read about it in the newspaper 3 or 4 or 5 times, and he's got a stock tip from his buddy, his golfing buddy's got a stock tip, right? Oh, did you buy that stock? I'm totally riding it. I'm milking it, right? So he calls up his broker. He's like, yeah, I got to buy this stock, man. It's at a 52-week high. You got to get me in. And then, of course, the whole thing crashes, right? And when you look at the market here, too, you know, there's always a group that seems to buy, like, who's selling into the support right now? Right? Like, who's selling into this? Into the support? I mean, it's like, why didn't they sell way up high, right? So it's these guys that you got to kind of worry about too. And sure, maybe it does make a lower low. It is a New York Open, so it could be smart money. But it seems to me this happens also at the market close, and somebody at the end of the day is trying to make the trade that everyone's been doing for the last 12 hours, right? And those guys are the liquidity events. So these guys are now selling. Oh man, let's sell. And you know, they're probably going to get slaughtered, right? Right? Blue Horseshoe, right? Loves Caldecott steel, right? You guys remember that? And and then the whole thing starts getting, but you have to be, the way you make money as a trader is to be in before all the dum-dums. You got to get out, sell your positions to the dum-dums. Right. What the hell is this? Dude, I can't take this. All these investors calling. Gold, dang it. All right. Florida. Who the hell is calling me from Florida? So, anyways, yada yada yada. So you gotta be the one that's trading off the top. I mean, maybe there's even divergence here. Do you want to? I guess I have to put it back now. Template, day trading. Let's just do the same thing. I guess you got to do like a 4 hour. Yeah. All right. There it is. Perfect. Okay. Double top divergence. Oops. Okay. So the smart money got out here. All right. The dumb money bought here, and of course it collapsed on them. Now the smart money is probably thinking, well, I wonder if I want to buy this. Okay. And you can be the seller up here. That's perfectly fine. If you're a seller, that's the perfect place to be. It's like being halfway down and selling. That's silly, right? Right? So you got to pick your lines. You got to be, right? You got to be the buyer at support. You got to be the seller at resistance. And all the lamos are everywhere in between. Okay. Oh, but my point, guys, is that you should be able to anticipate the divergence before it even happens. I mean, you should anticipate this diverging out. It just becomes intuitive, like that's where you diverge out. Okay. So like if you're an aggressive bull, right, where do you buy? You buy a 382. So who the hell buys it up here? Right? This is sort of again what I was talking about in the other conversation. This is where you need the pullback so you can slingshot, right? You need to come back to the moon so you can slingshot to Mars. It's just too much energy required to like use all your fuel right here. Right? So this goes back to what we were saying before. If you want this to go up, you're praying for it to come back. Right? This is what a true bull is thinking. A bull wanted this to come back, and it's going all the way to, if the 382 holds, you're having it come way up here. Okay? So you want it to come down. And this is where you can sell, be short-term short, but then buy to be long-term long. Okay? And of course, if that don't work, I said your plan B is going to be down in here. Right? 125 even with the 618. Okay? Then of course your third chance is way down here, but you probably will be questioning yourself by then, right? But you know, look, it could make a 618 and bounce. I see no problems with coming down to 125 and then heading up. So you got to pick your lines, right? Was that helpful, guys? Sorry, I got like things going on and people pinging me and messages popping up and phone ringing. Anyways, super helpful. Right on. Well, I'll eat my apple to that. Now, a little bit of finesse. Okay. Oh, how about this? How about your oscillator in here? Let's just keep moving. There's the previous range. How do you use your oscillator in here? Well, Dan, a 200 is often a target, so you can use that as a moving target. So how do you use your oscillator in here, guys? But what's more important? Ooh, this coffee, man, it tastes nutty. It's flavored or something. Maybe the cat peed in the punch bowl, huh? Support and resistance. The most important thing is support and resistance. Okay? Because it is the range. Okay? And so if you get overbought and oversold oscillators, for example, but you're not touching support and resistance, ignore them. Okay? But you're probably better off just buying it, support and selling at resistance, regardless of your oscillator. But you know, that's a decent buy. Okay? That is not a predictive sell. That's a decent buy. Canadian retail number is good. As expected. Oh, they missed on the core. A miss on the core. So that's going to be oop for the CAD. For USD CAD. Oop. I had this one, right? There it is. Oh, look at that. I have it going up. Oh. So you got to look for the higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and put it on the micro now, right? Right? So what the micro price action up to the 55, down to the pivot, up to the M2. Okay. We'll see, eh? Seems to me that when I cry, these tears will be running down my nose. And I'll be gone, gone tonight. Do 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 do. Nothing in between. Okay. You want to scalp it news style. That's what you're looking at. And of course, you're going to use this as a roll reversal. Okay. Your sweet spot is 382 to 618. That would be your plan A. Looks like we made a 50%. Actually, you could do it this way too. It all works. But I'll do it that way. Okay, so plan A, sweet spot. Plan B, still within the 786. So sweet spot long, stop below there, should be fine. Story of my life. Written on these charts are the stories that I can't explain. I leave my trades open, remains break even for days. Told me in the morning she don't feel the same about the trades in her bones. Seems to me that when I cry, my pips will be. Okay, we're charging the line. If it's going to fail, it's going to fail in the next 2 minutes. And I'll be gone tonight. Stop, stop it. Stop below my trade is open wide. Wayne, is your book the? Yeah, I only wrote one book. That's enough. One launch party, one little piece of glory. It was fun. It's fun signing. I have a screenshot somewhere. It was the best-selling Forex book on Amazon.com 2 days before it was even available for purchase. Cool. Threw a big party. Thousands of people showed up. It was awesome. Don't need to do it again. But the thing is, even when I'm writing papers for school, uh, my right arm bothers me a lot, and then it goes into my shoulders and stuff like that, and it's carpal tunnel syndrome from writing that dang book. So yeah, I hope it brings you a life of success, because it's brought me a bit of a life of pain. So I hope it was not in vain. Okay, so we're right at the place where if it's going to fail, it's going to fail, right? So there you go. Usually when you get into this area, you try to jam your stop closer or break even. Well, thank you, Travis. I hope you left a review on Amazon.com. Oh, you should. It has been reviewed as the worst book ever written. I'm like, that can't be true. There must be a worse written book. Like Grisham. All right, so look, it's failing right where it's supposed to fail. So the thing about scalping is you're supposed to make quick money. It's a quick buck. You shouldn't be waiting around 20 minutes to make money, right? Damn, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know what it is. All I know is I did my best. I'm not going to write another one, I don't think. I do have some ideas, but you know, I got a complicated life. I got things happening. I think if I retired, I would maybe, but even then. All right, so this has got to giddy up or it's dead, right? This is it. This is it, guys. Last hurrah. Last hurrah, man. This is all green. I'd move my stop even closer now. If you're probably at break even now. I'd jam it right in there. That's it. No hope left, man. Move the risk, move on to the next trade, right? Oh, look at this. Portugal made an early repayment to the IMF. Oh my gosh. Good job, Portugal. I mean, seriously, that's cool. Yeah, we're just going to pay down our debt early. Good job, huh? I'm looking for a gift for a Portuguese friend slash colleague uh, who's helping, and I thought I should find the best bottle of port in the world, and I found one from 1868 or something. I'm like, oh yeah, now that is that right, Pedro? How about a bottle of port wine? And apparently, if I remember correctly, this particular one was in the barrel for 100 years. I'm like, what? Not sitting in the bottle in someone's basement turning into vinegar. No, in the barrel for 100 years. Oh my gosh. Holy smokes. Who's that right, eh? Now is a that is a tawny port. Holy smokes, right? Like, oh, yeah, excellent, huh? Like, how can you imagine? I mean, it took three lifetimes, right? Someone put the grape juice, if you want, right, into the barrel, and then their son or daughter or whatever, their children, then nursed it, and then their children nursed it, and maybe even their children nursed it, and then they bottled it, and now it's been in the bottle for 30 years, right? So their children. I mean, oh my gosh, and now it's time to drink it, right? Oh my, the patience. And I think regarding all that patience and all that history, it's cheap. Anyway, so yeah, dead, dead, dead. Boop, boop, boop. Take the loss, get out of break even. Scalp, worthless, right? Scalp, worthless. Now maybe it turns into a spot or something later, but that's for you to decide. So a scalp, like I was saying, a scalp is quick, easy money, right? It's all volume and volatility. We didn't get it there. News either wasn't that important or the markets are thin. Biggest winner, or sorry, biggest loser, pound CAD. Pound has been quite weak, right? I'm going to do pound dollar, I guess. Yeah, so I'm worried. I got trades going, right? So I got another one on pound yen. I don't know if we need to look, but you can critique me if you want. What do you think? Sucks, right? Yeah. So don't look at it. Here's the plan, however. Not that up and then down, but amazing. And then another crappy trade, of course. They're all crappy until they're profitable. Every trade sucks unless you're making money. So yeah, so sold, not a good place. I don't know. Life's complicated sometimes. Not what I would want me to do, but maybe we kick off this 5 and head to the next level, right? I know I'm out of position, but I'll have to pay the consequence if that's the case. Did we do oil? Let's just go back to the news trade, do oil, and then move on.com. Yeah, well, Travis says try again at 10:30. It's not the same scalp, right? Just make sure it's a different move, if you will. Nothing really to say here, right? Hey, I bought it at the psych level. Okay, break, pull back on. So we're at above 111. If we break out of this triangle, it should keep moving on. But it's not going to break out of the triangle. How do I know that? How do I know it's going to go back up to 1135, maybe only 1125, and then head back down? Anybody? Because the way that you use these triangles is that it needs to break at the apex. Okay. And if it breaks at the apex up or down, it should, doesn't always, but it should create the new trend. Okay. If it breaks early like this, it's a fake out, not a breakout. And it'll do that on you. Okay. And of course, you know this trick, I'm sure. You take this, the size of the triangle. Let's just do it there. And you move it to the break point. Let's do, I guess I have to go 4 hour, right? That works even less. Let's do it there. Okay, so you take it to the break. Okay, to the break point, and the target is, so from 111 to 112. The target is 112 on that move. Don't remember how we got the wedge. There it is. Okay. Okay. So if you're going to use your tools, right? If you don't think that's true, get rid of your trend lines. Don't draw the wedge. If you're going to draw the wedge, use the wedge. That's what the wedge tells me. It's going to come up, it's going to come down, then it's going to break to the upside. It's going to move approximately 100 pips, and then it's going to stop. Hallelujah. So at least I'm long. So anyways, it's been real. You're good. You make me happy. When skies are gray. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Have a great day. Cheers.